It's such a great analogy, the church as a body. It's such a good analogy that we often gloss right over it without giving it a second thought. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, March 31st, 2022. In 1 Corinthians 12, Paul talks about spiritual gifts and their distribution in the church. Yesterday we saw that this section fits into a larger section in which Paul tries to resolve issues in the Corinthian church related to their worship practices. One of the problems related to worship, apparently, was that some in the church saw themselves as spiritually superior because of the particular gifts they had that others didn't share. As we'll see, this really boils down to those who could speak in tongues, feeling that this gift somehow marked them as spiritually superior to everyone else. In response, Paul reminds them that all spiritual gifts come from the same Spirit and all are of equal value. Now, in soaring prose, Paul draws on the analogy of the human body to drive home this very point. He says, "For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but of many. If the foot would say, 'Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body,' that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear would say, 'Because I'm not an eye, I don't belong to the body,' that would not make it any less a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them as He chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many members, yet one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, 'I have no need of you,' nor again the head to the feet, 'I have no need of you.'" Paul continues from there, but the point is clear. Just as a human body is composed of many parts, each one doing specific things, so too the church. Different members contribute different things to the whole, and just as a human body needs all of its various parts to work well, so the church needs each person's spiritual gifts if it is to function properly. Now, I have to be honest with you and say that whenever we read this particular passage in worship, I wince just a little for one particular reason. That is, I'm aware that not everyone has full function of the whole range of body parts. I just hope and pray that they do not hear this as a judgment that just because they've lost their eyesight or their hearing or the use of their legs, or they don't have both arms, they are somehow lesser human beings. All I can say is that this is an analogy, and with every analogy, it isn't perfect. Of course, people with a variety of disabilities are whole, complete people. It is with good reason that we sometimes use the euphemism differently abled instead of disabled. But with that little pastoral digression out of the way, it is fair to say that this analogy turns out to be a really good one for the church. It extends Paul's theological point that all spiritual gifts are equally important. Using the analogy of the human body provides the Corinthians with a vivid, easy to understand, and concrete illustration to drive home his point. There is no one in the church who, by virtue of their particular spiritual gift or role in the church, can claim to be spiritually superior to anyone else in the church. It was true then, and it's true now. In tomorrow's reading, we read the end of 1 Corinthians 12 and begin 1 Corinthians 13, Paul's famous chapter on love. Reading the end of one chapter and the beginning of the other will help us see the connection between Paul's discussion of spiritual gifts and his words about love in a way we often miss. But for now, May God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.